What is going on, everybody? We are here back again for episode number four. No, number three. So we're doing number three for Sim Sports Real Talk. We're back, baby. We're back. Just waiting for Gedden to get on, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Let's see what we got. Just give me a minute, guys, and we'll get started in just a minute. All right. Mm-mm. All right, let's see what we got here. Start that. This thing is crazy. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Just trying to get getting on here, guys. It's just show will be starting soon. Stay tuned. Hang tight. All right, we got the chat going live. And let's see. Just got to get him on. Give me 1 minute, guys. Let's do this. All right. Um, I don't know what that was. Well, it's Halloween, guys, so we're running a little bit late tonight. We wanted to be on time, but we're not ready to start, but we'll be starting in any minute now. So stay tuned. We got a special show for you guys. Um, just trying to get some things set up here, and we'll get started. All right. Let me do this. I can actually bring this over. Okay. All right. All right, he says he's coming on right now, so we should be getting started in a minute. Really didn't mean to put us on yet, but I don't know how to do private. I mean, private then public. I'm not sure how that works, but we'll get it right. We'll get it right. So I'm going to go ahead and run down the topics tonight for you guys who are watching. So at least we have it set up correctly, and then we'll go from there. So what do we got here? We got a number of topics we're doing tonight. We'll be talking about Madden. You know, always talking about Madden on this show. So we'll try to talk about how Madden can be supported through other routes rather than buying it brand new. You can find ways to enjoy Madden and not even pay for it. And then we also have we have gameplay issues we're going to go through with Madden 18 for you guys. Share some thoughts on some of the things that the community is seeing when it comes to Madden and the typical gameplay issues that we see. And then we'll dive into NBA 2K18. Sounds like their sales are just going through the roof, so we'll be getting into that a little bit, and then some discussion on eSports. So we'll be getting into that as well. So I'll go ahead and get started. I mean, I'll start off with the Bills. Buffalo Bills are 5-2. I can't really. I'm surprised. I'll be honest. I mean, I'm not. I had low expectations this year. Um, there, I didn't see anything in the off season that would warrant this kind of improvement. And we've had a lot of close games, and every game has been very competitive. The one thing that we're doing this year is we're playing really, 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 really good defense, and then on offense we're actually putting numbers up. So every game has been pretty competitive. We've had a couple of blowouts, but with the NFL, man, any given Sunday, any team can win. And a lot of the games that we've won and lost, I mean, we've lost 2 and won 5. We could easily be 2-5. I mean, that's just the way the NFL is. Um, but this team seems to have some heart, and they seem to be really, you know, holding their own in the fourth quarter, in the second half, which is where the game really comes. It comes down to whether you win or lose. And home field advantage. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're undefeated at home. So we just got done playing the Oakland Raiders, and it was quite a game. I mean, the beginning, I thought Oakland was going to just take it away. They drove down the field in the first drive, put up 7 points, and then before you know it, we're already down seven. And then all of a sudden, you turn around and we had a huge defensive game, turnovers after turnover, and we blew them out. I mean, they tried to come back in the second half, but it was short lived. And Shady had a great game. So whenever he runs well and our defense plays well, all we got to do is just keep the ball safe, and we get a win. So we're 5-2. We're right there at the top of the AFC East, and we're doing well. One of the things that just came through was we picked up the wide receiver from Carolina, Benjamin. Calvin Benjamin, I believe his name is. He's the big, tall dude. Let's see. Yeah, Calvin. I don't want to mispronounce his name. Calvin Benjamin, he's 6'5", and he's a big-time, big stature receiver. It's going to give us some more looks on offense, and we're dying to have a receiving core. I mean, we have Jordan Matthews, who's a veteran from the Eagles. I believe that's where he came from. And then we have our rookie, Zay Jones. But Zay Jones has been slow to get started, and we have some work to do. So we're doing well. I mean, I have a pretty good outlook on this year. First 7 games, we look damn good. So I'm pretty damn impressed with our new coaching staff. And I'm excited to see what happens this year. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and get started with the show. One of the first topics that we wanted to dive into was Madden, but I'm going to go ahead and wait for Gedden to get on for that. But if anybody in the chat wants to join in or jump on the line, then then you guys are more than welcome. So I see you guys in the chat, and everything's rolling. Just waiting for the co-host to jump on, and then we'll get this thing moving. So so one of the topics that we're going to do tonight is eSports. Okay. And eSports is something that I know is coming. I think on one side, the fact that companies are moving towards the eSports industry, I think it's a good thing for us. But it's also, I'm not sure how it's going to play out, because I'm the kind of guy who likes simulation, sports, and what that means is I want a game that's true sim as much as possible. And I think the esports will bring us more of that. And then one thing that came up in the news this week was that the Yankees, speaking of the Yankees actually invested a large chunk of money into esports. And from what I read, they're following suit. They're seeing a lot of the other companies out there invest in esports, and I think it said that, let's see, I got it pulled up here. The amount was undisclosed, so I'm not sure how much it was, but I think following the NBA announcement about creating an e-league around NBA 2K18, they're diving right into it as well, and they're trying to seek to maximize revenue opportunities, for advertising, sponsorships, media, and esports trajectory is shooting straight up through the roof. And, professional teams out there are all jumping on board one by one to be a part of this, and I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing for us as a community. I think it's also awesome for competition. And I'm just hoping that these games find a way to improve towards the sim aspect. MLB The Show is probably my favorite game when it comes to simulation. Um, Sorry, man. Gedden's running a little bit late, so he'll be on shortly. But yeah, I think MLB The Show, man. I think that game, if you play that game, I mean, it's baseball, and that's not my first sport that I go to, but um, if you play that game, it represents the sport to a T. I mean, it's not perfect, but I think it's the closest game we have that represents the sport. NBA 2K would be, the one that's behind it in terms of the authenticity of it. But, but these companies are seeing the esports industry and they want to jump on board. There's money making there. I mean, this is a multi-billion dollar industry, and these companies stocks are doing very well. All of the Take Two, EA Sports stocks. I don't follow San Diego studios, but if you look at the AAA, Take Two and EA Sports, their stocks have been continuing to rise. I mean, they're at an all time high, and a lot of it I think has to do with the fact that these companies are looking for new opportunities to increase their revenue streams. you know so that's something that I saw come through this week, and I just think it's another example of how these companies are trying to maximize the opportunity to be in the esports arena. So, do you guys have any thoughts in the comments? Feel free to leave them. But uh we'll see if Gedden wants to chime in on this when he jumps on. So we can move on to our next topic. I mean, bottom line is esports is huge. Rocket League, you look at a game like Rocket League and they've how successful they've become, and in the esports arena, I mean, they're huge. Games like Madden, that game just has so far to go before it can even become a contender in the esports. And they're probably going to keep pursuing it. And I hope that the game gets better. But my thought is that they're going to just be putting band-aids on the game, and and try to make it seem like it's balanced. They're not going to have a simulation game anytime soon, from what I can tell. But if you look at the actual competitive side of it, they're gonna have a game that they can just say, okay, you got a cheap move that happened to you. Now I'm gonna give one to the other guy, and they're probably gonna do these counter weird band-aid type moves, and nerf all these different features so that somebody can't, overpower someone who's not a sim player or something. I don't know. So I don't think Madden's gonna be anywhere near where it needs to be. Um, I'll tell you that all pro football, that game, even though it's, what, a 10-year-old game, that game would actually do pretty well, I think, in esports. Um, as far as strategy goes, you look at the guys in the SFL and the people that play all pro football today, that game is super duper strategic, and it's no fun, man. That game is all about trying to outsmart your opponent, and there's stick skills that are involved for sure. And there's some exploiting, plays that are out there, but the game was only 1 year, in the making. Um, but the few plays that you take out that are exploitable, and the weaknesses that happen in that game, with the zone defenses or whatnot, you have a pretty damn solid game that you can compete in any event, any venue. And that's a game that I wish they could do in some type of competition, because look at what we have for football games, right? You know, so that game might be something that they can look into, but it probably never happened. But it's something I just thought of, that they can, esports, that could definitely do it. and IQ, football IQ needs to be at its optimum level to be able to play that game and compete with the guys out there. It's not for the lighthearted people, man. I can tell you that. All right, so we got through the esports part. One of the things that I was looking at this week as well was NBA 2K18, and I read something about the fact that it's topping sales in an absurdly competitive sports gaming month. So with everything out there, all of the games that are out there from a sports perspective, you got FIFA, you got PES, you got NBA 2K, obviously, you got the Madden 18, and you got hockey. You got all these different sports games that are out there, and NBA 2K18 is topping the charts. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because it just reinforces the fact that simulation gameplay is the way to go. For all of these companies out there that are scared or that don't know how to target their style of play or what to focus on. Yeah, they're focusing on the DLC, the MUT, etc., and everything else. And looks like we got Gedden on the line. What's up, Gedden?
What up, kid? What up? What up, YouTube?
What up, man? You're looking nice and crisp tonight.
Yeah, man, I'm under my Wi-Fi. I'm at home. I ain't going out to my car tonight. We in here for real.
Oh, nice. Well, we got the show started a little bit early without you, but we just talked
Yeah, my bad
through.
about that.
It's just me right now, and I just got through the eSports, the Yankees investing in eSports, and just talking about the fact that eSports is growing, and it's becoming its own, animal, and and I was saying it's a good thing for us simulation guys because the more simulation you can make the game, the more competitive it can be. And if that's what esports is about, then I think we're in for a treat as a sim community. But so let's just stop the show right there and and get it back to you. Why don't you go ahead and share with us what you've been up to and give us your thoughts on esports.
Well, my thoughts on esports, it could go either way. Um, Take for instance, esports in say Call of Duty. You have the developers build the game, and you got the esports tournament guys dictating how the game is going to be played. In Call of Duty, it's certain rules that are laid out for tournament players to use. Like certain things could get you banned from the tournament or losing or get eliminated out of a tournament. Um, so it could go either way. It could go very simulated, be very competitive, or it could go very arcade like. And I hate to say it, but a lot of esport would be esport guys that would go into playing Madden. Oh, forget about it. You'll have a super arcade fest. How the tournament players play Madden, we all see how they play. Nothing but hurry up offense, nothing but 1,000 hot routes, nothing but everything is like it has to be an absolute to them because they're putting this is their livelihood, right? This is their money that they make. So like when my man got all upset, I forgot his name, but he was playing during a Madden tournament. He got all upset, said that this game sucks. What's going on? And then EA immediately had him apologize for it. Those type of things for those guys, it's going to have to be exact. No wide receiver could drop a ball while he's wide open. Stuff like that. So you might get a more arcade game. It'll be probably better quality. You won't have the issues that we see online, which, we're going to bring up again in another topic, one of my topics. But yeah, I think that it could go either way. It could go very simulated or it could go very, very arcade. But at least either way, we might get a better game. And that might actually open up the competitiveness with other companies as well. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I mean, the thing is we have games like MLB The Show, and we have that to me. I don't know how much you guys out there play that game, but I was saying that game is probably the closest representation of the real sport that we have, in terms of a next gen title. That game is not perfect, but it does a lot of quality things that are very, very, very close to mimicking the real thing. And the next one in line would be NBA 2K, in my opinion. And those games are right there for getting into esports. And you look at the Yankees, dumping money into it, and that's that game's ready. I mean, that game's ready for it. And I'm not sure, what games are going to be going into esports, officially, but MLB The Show, if it is that game, which I would imagine it has to be, then those guys are in for a nice competition. Games like Madden, they're too far. They might get in there. And what I was saying was that Madden, the thing with Madden, they'd be better off putting APF 2K8 out there and playing a competition with that, minus a few of the exploits that they have out there. But Madden, you look at the Madden game, and what I think that they do with Madden is just band-aid it. They'll give you some OP, they'll give me some OP. If they give you a weird glitch, they'll just balance it out. And then what that'll do is it won't make the game, fluid and dynamic and full simulation, but it'll give the people that are playing at least a balanced playing field. That's my theory on what they're doing with Madden, because we all know the game's not where we want it to be. So how are they going to be able to compete in the esports, industry, and with a game that's lackluster? How are you going to do that?
I don't know, but all I know is, say a game like Call of Duty, that game sucks. It's very lowbrow. It's not anything. It's not on the level of, say, Battlefield. Even Battlefield is still arcadey, but it's way more. If you would say a game would be simulated or not, Battlefield would be the simulated game. But it doesn't matter what the game is. These tournament guys, they get in and they change everything. It has to fit their needs first, because I'll put it to you like this. Sports team got a super athlete. He's the one bringing in the money. That athlete is the one who's really saying what's going to go in the league. Now, if you let them go crazy without regulations, of course, but no esport person will go that out there to change that much about a sport. But he's bringing in the money. The reason why these companies do the esport route is to captivate more people to play the game. They really, like say like EA or whatever, Activision, they actually pay to have their games on esports, or esports pay them to have their games on there. So when you have the players, they're the athlete or they're the show, right? It depends on how good the athletes are. So these esport guys, they always come in and they always change the game. They always get their way because they're the money makers for esports. And yeah, they're gonna come in and wreck shop. It's gonna be, I really feel like it's gonna be way more like Madden 07, 6, maybe. No, matter of fact, Madden 04, maybe 5, where it really depended on your stick skills, was huge in those games. It might go back to that, but I'm not, like you said, Madden is not a quality game, so it's going to be hard for them to even do that. So good luck to them.
We know there's a lot of money there to be made in that industry, and stock prices are going up for the big companies. So we'll see what happens. But the second topic that we were talking about was the sales, and the fact that I'm looking at it now. I saw it on Pasta Padre's site. The fact that NBA 2K18 topped the charts this past month with compared to all the sports games. It says it finished second in the NPD sales in North America for September, but that was based on, I think, all of the games, not just the sports games. And so NBA 2K18 was second, and then Madden NFL was right behind it at third. FIFA came in fourth. NHL 18 was number 8, and then NBA Live was back at number 17. So what I was saying was that, you look at the sports games that are out there with all the competition we have right now. This time of year, we're flooded with sports games, right? You have only so much time, and which one are you going to choose? And you look at a game like NBA 2K18, and that game is ahead of everybody else. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that, to me, in my opinion, is the fact that it's as close to a simulation game, as a lot of the competition is. And, it's the right mentality to have if you're a sports company trying to beat out the competition or trying to be the best sports game across all genres. I mean, you look at this. This is across all the different sports genres. So, I mean, there is no competitor to NBA 2K. I mean, there's NBA Live, but there wasn't, for the past, I don't know, a couple of years or so. And you look at somebody like Madden, there's no competition, and we all know why at this point, at least AAA competition. But they need Madden and everybody else. They need to get into the mindset of following what these games like NBA 2K18 do, and focus on a quality simulation, just the purest form of the sport that you can get, and stop, trying to sugarcoat the game and play, mind tricks with people. And because that's going to run out at some point, whether it be the license, expiring, or it be the fact that people are going to go to the indie games or whatever it might be. The community out there, the users out there, I imagine the sales can't continue to grow or be at the rate that they're at. And I don't even have that statistic, by the way, because it could be down, on the down cycle. They need to stop focusing on all the little bells and whistles that sell people and all the DLC and mud and what have you. And they need to focus on, and look in the mirror and focus on the core gameplay, because that's obviously the example that is being set by companies. And these NBA game is beating out all of the genres. So, I mean, I just wanted to bring that up because that's a highlight from last month with all the competition. NBA 2K takes the crown. And I was wondering what you thought about that.
Well, I'm looking at this list, and I see out of the top 10, we have 4 sports titles. And then at number 17, you have NBA Live 18. So that goes to show you how strong the marketing dollar is for sports in America. Now, the NFL, I know that the ratings, especially this year, took a dip. The year before that took a dip, and the year before that, 2011, was its highest rated season. Highest rated, that means, if a game is selling using an NFL license, obviously that game or that product should sell very well because everybody loves the NFL. So with that being said, I still think the NFL is still one of the top rated sporting events in America, even though it took, I don't know what percentage dip. But you have NBA 2K, a game that's way more quality to it, a lot more depth, beating that out, edging that game out. To me, that tells you something about Madden, and it definitely tells you something about NBA 2K. I think you alluded to that, saying that, hey, NBA 2K is more of a simulated game. There's a lot more quality in that game, and the better simulation, the better quality you're going to get, because it's much harder to make a simulated game as opposed to an arcade game. But imagine the money that these companies would make if, or not these companies, but just the NFL, if they allowed 2K to make a football game. Possibly you could have the NBA 2K game, NFL 2K game, Madden, and NBA 18, possibly in the top 5 games sold of certain months or 6 months, whatever, in America. That right there is stifling. It kind of blows my mind that we can have all these sports games in the top tier. But the NFL is very stingy with their licensing, and even though I know EA is paying so much money, but they can make even more money if they allow another company to make a game. Now, I believe if Madden NFL next year, drops down to, let's say, 8 or 9, 10, we'll get that possibility of another company coming in and trying to make another NFL game. So yeah, I think this is really interesting, the sales charts here. We have 4 or 5 sports games in the top 20. And look at NBA Live. NBA Live is getting better. It's still not the best game out there, but it's getting better. And that's at 17. Now, I remember the 2 years ago when they released it, I don't think it even made the top 30 list. Now it's at 17. So if they bring it out next year or the year before, the year after that, it might be top 10 or top 5 even. You know, so that's a lot of money to be made off of these sports games, if they do it right, of course.
Right. I mean, if you look at the top 20, you know, the first game's Destiny 2. But last month, believe it or not, I mean, obviously it makes sense. Madden was a top selling game, but that was because, you know, obviously the NFL just kicked off, right? I mean, so that's my thought on it. You know, I don't think it's deserving of that, but that just shows you how strong and how much influence and power the NFL license has. You know, you have the NFL license, you're already boosted to, you know, top of the charts, primarily hinging upon that. You know, we all know the game's not anywhere near where it should be, and there's no way that game would be anywhere near the top 20 if it didn't have the license. Let's be honest. I mean, you know, so but that just shows you the power, right? The power of it. But then if you look, I mean, you brought up NBA Live 18. And NBA Live 18, I actually give them props for being number 17. I mean, because that game had to get rebooted. I'm not sure what they did to rebuild, if they rebuilt the engine from scratch. They took it from the old previous you know, version. But that game to be number 17, it tells me that people are buying it at some level, you know. And I know that they've had I think the last, you know, 2 releases, 1 or 2 releases, they bombed big time. And I'm not sure where their sales at in total, but I mean, I mentioned Splatoon 2. Now, Splatoon 2 has been out for a while, but that game was number 18, and NBA Live beat out that game, even though that game's, you know, been out for a while. So that I give that some props. You know, you have NHL 18 at number 8, which NHL to me is always a pretty fun game, and a game that is truer to the sim form than a game like Madden. You know, then you got your FIFAs of the world. You know, FIFA always does really well. So, I mean, it's an interesting list to see all of these sports games on the top 20. And to me, that tells me that, you know, sports games are popular, you know, and people want quality games. And you see Zelda in here. We talked about Zelda last week. You know, Zelda's a game that is a high quality game, and it's right in the middle of the hunt, even though it's been out for a long time. And these sports games are scattered all through here. So sports games are where it's at, you know, in a lot of places, and people are going to want to demand more from these companies, and they want a better product. So games like Madden, NBA 2K, all you guys need to step up and bring out the best product you can, because, you know, I don't think this license will last forever. So, you know, we'll see what happens.
One sec. I have a little stat here about NBA Live. I think the last NBA Live was NBA Live 15, right? I don't think they came out with a 16.
I don't think so.
So
yeah,
NBA Live 15 total sales. Yo, take a guess. Just take a random guess.
For what, NBA Live this year?
Yeah, NBA Live. No. NBA Live 15.
Oh, 15? I don't know.
Take a random guess.
It's like 50,000.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a little too low. No, they sold 220,000.
Oh, wow.
They didn't even break 1 million. Yeah,
that's crazy. What did All Pro Football do? I forget. I thought it was like 100,000 or some low number like that.
Yeah, something very low. Let me look that up.
That amazes me, man.
If I can
it amazes me. But yeah, I mean, I went too low. I swear I heard it was like 30,000 or something, one of the NBA Lives, but that can't be right, because that's way too low.
Yeah, no.
But even at 200,000, even at 200,000, you're right. I mean, that's a number that these companies can't afford to have and continue to be profitable making these games. You can't do it. And that just shows why they didn't make the game. But I give them, I commend them for coming out and trying to take on the big dog, and that's what we call, competition and not having any monopolies in place. When you have the ability to have direct competition and may the best man win, the best company win. I mean, that's the way that we want it to be. I mean, we as consumers want to be able to have choices, and we want to be able to express our opinions. And if we think a game is better and trending to become better, then you're going to see it in the numbers. You're going to see it in the sales, and that will eventually determine, who at least is at the top today. But tomorrow, we may turn around and switch sides. But it creates that competition and that that competitive nature and that push that all these companies need, instead of just focusing on trying to exploit the popular vote and having people out there focus on things that we don't really want as a community.
Exactly. So All Pro Football 2K8 sold 260,000 total sales. I would think that NBA 2K, NBA Live 17 should almost crack 1 million by at least the year is over. It should almost crack 1 million. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, let's look up. We could go to the next topic. I could come back with this, but I want to see total sales period for NBA Live 17. See where they're at.
Yeah, go for it. I mean, I'll look at the chat, see if we have any questions from anybody. Sure. What's up, you guys? Everybody on here. Somebody came on here and was talking some stupid smack. So I went ahead and timed that guy out. So I don't know. We're not.
Wait. Don't time nobody out. Let them talk themselves to their fingers turn blue.
Oh no. He was saying some just stupid, like, white trash and the N-word, and he's just saying stupid stuff. So I got rid of that guy.
Stuff like that. No, any kind of racial, anything like that, just you could block that type of person.
Yeah, we don't play that here. I mean, if you guys want to give us your comments, no, I won't block you for any comments you say. But anything that's derogatory like that, we're not gonna play around with. So, so sales. I mean, even with All Pro Football, all-time 200,000 sales. I mean, you got to wonder what the NFL license costs, and take that into account. You put the NFL license costs and you subtract it from your expenses, then you wonder. It makes you wonder how many sales that would equate to break even. Is that 1 million sales? I don't know. I mean, what's the number if they would have paid for the license? Because maybe 200,000 wasn't that bad, and I mean, that's all time. So that's over the last 10 years. But at the same time, that game died too early, man. Just died too damn early for us.
Way too early. Real quick, NBA Live, they did make a 16 last year, and it sold 200,000. So they sold less than it did the previous year. I can't find anything for NBA Live 17 yet. They probably either didn't post it, or some of these companies don't like posting their sales at times.
So they made a Live 17, a Live 16.
Yeah, I just saw the sales for it. Me neither.
I didn't realize that. I mean, yeah. You know what? I know they made it 17. I didn't know they made it 16. So I'll take that back.
Yeah.
But we can go ahead and move on, guys. Let's go to the next topic so we can keep this show rolling tonight. And I guess, why don't we get into the first topic on here, which is a topic that Gedden wanted to talk about. So I'll let you kick it off. But it's how to buy Madden, ways to buy Madden without actually having to support them financially and support EA with your dollars. So I'll let you kick that one off, man.
Sure. How can I even start this? I like to start this by saying if you're complaining about Madden every year, now you can do whatever you want with your money. I'm not here to say don't do this and don't do that. I'm just suggesting. But the best way to get EA to listen to you is to not support their product. So by you supporting them by way of what is that service called?
EA Play,
Play, EA Play, yeah. By giving
EA
them money,
Access, or
then
whatever. Yeah.
downloading, yeah, and then by downloading Madden, it's still kind of supporting EA and Madden. Um, so you can still enjoy and buy and play Madden. All you got to do is buy it from another person or another user or somebody who has a shipment of the game. There are 2 or more apps out there. I'm gonna tell you 2 that I know of. You got OfferUp, and then you got Let Go. You could go to those apps. People are selling them, selling Madden right now, probably for like $30 or $40. You could buy it off of that person, go pick it up or have them deliver it to you, and then you're enjoying Madden and being just as upset as the rest of anyone else that's playing Madden. Um, or you can make videos, whatever you're gonna do. You could get the game off of those 2 apps without giving EA a dime, and you probably get it cheaper. Now, I have seen some people do buy the game, or some people do sell the game right when the game comes out, and they're either selling it for retail price or maybe like $5 cheaper. I'd rather do that than give EA a dime of my money, and then of course stay away from MUT and all that. But that's the best way you could. That's the best thing you could do. Buy it. You're still playing it, right? But you get to not give them any kind of money. Another part of that topic. Well, damn, I just had a loss of words on that one. My bad. Go ahead. What you think about that?
That's all right. I mean, you brought this up, and I think it's something that people should be doing. I agree. I mean, if you're not happy with the product and the fact that we don't have competition, normally what would happen is you would go and you would buy the competitor's product, right? But because we don't have any next gen, new release competition, at least football competition, you can go out and buy MLB The Show, you can buy NBA 2K, you can buy different sports. But if you're talking about football and you have to get your football fix and you want a brand new title, we only have Madden that's selling. Okay. So I'll start off by saying that, because I would be down for supporting games if there was competition. Like I said, the best man would win. In this case, we only have one player in the field. So what do you do? How do you show your support or show your satisfaction for the game? You do it by showing it with your dollar, showing it with your pocket. I mean, I always see, you Gedden having saved 65, and I agree. I mean, my kid wanted Madden because I know what I'm getting. I can already see it every time I see one video. I already know what's coming. And and just to say, let me just preface this by saying that I'm the first one in line. I would be the first one in line to buy a Madden product if the game was satisfactory. Okay. So
Yes,
I'm not
sir.
one of these guys that's all about 2K and 2K is golden and 2K is perfect. No, 2K has problems. 2K has flaws. I'm not in any way sold on 2K just for the name 2K. All pro football gets played in my house because of the quality of the game, and that game's not perfect and it has problems. But you know what? It's a choice that I make out of all of the options I have. I pick that one usually the most whenever I go to a football game. With Madden, we only have the one, right? We only have the one game. And if I'm going to buy it, I did the same thing that you just said. I went to OfferUp, and some guy sold it to me. I think it was for like $45. And it was only a few weeks after it came out, maybe like 2 weeks after it came out. And I bought it for my son. It still even had like a coupon in there to buy some NFL gear. I bought some gear. So you typically can find it from people out there at a reasonable price. And I saved, let's say, $20, but I don't want to give EA my money. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it until they let go of that license and they stop holding on to it or put a great product out there. I'm not going to give them my money because they don't deserve it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why a lot of people don't like Madden. They really feel like it's the same game and it's not improving enough. Also, if you don't want to buy Madden, you don't even want to play it, but you still have that NFL itch. Hey, look at a streamer. Look at them play the game. Or what I like to do, I love looking at the glitch videos in Madden because the developers are so, I don't know, they so half-ass it, or their budget is so low and their dev cycles are so short, they don't get a chance to actually test the game. I love looking at the glitch videos, seeing people go through all the crap that either I've went through, I known people that gone through this stuff, playing online, playing offline, whatever the case is. It's hilarious. I get like I don't know, some kind of special joy out of seeing EA fail like that. I don't know. Maybe I am a true EA hater. I don't know. But whatever you want to say. But yeah, man, it's hilarious. And to go back to what you were saying, before I say that, it's a link that Javo is going to put into the description of a video or a subscriber, not a subscriber, but a YouTube channel that I watch whenever he comes out with a video. His name is Cookie Boy. His top 10, not top 10 plays in Madden, hilarious. I see some crazy, horrible programming in that in those videos. So definitely check him out. If you don't want to play it, definitely look at those videos, share those videos. Maybe EA will actually try to fix something instead of band-aid patch stuff that we're not even upset about.
Yep. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's all I got.
I watched that video. I mean, let me just say this. Obviously, every game out there, sorry about that. Every game out there, you can find glitches and you can find exploits and you can find things and you can put them all in one video and make the game, you can make people perceive the game to be this buggy game. Problem with Madden is that it happens way too frequently. The core engine in that game is broken, period.
Oh.
It's period broken. The thing is backwards. It doesn't really work well. The way the guys move around. I was playing it. I actually played it this week just because I wanted to try it with the new patch. And I played one half of it. I can't really stomach any more than that. And the problem with the game, I don't know if it's just me or everybody else, but I don't know. But the problem I have with the game, the major gripe I have with it, and there's many, but probably the one that I think is the most prominent issue I have with the game is the fact that when I'm playing it, I don't feel like I have any control. I feel like when I push a button, nothing happens, or like I'm like 2 or 3 like seconds behind what it should be. So when you're running around with the ball and you do a move, there's always like this weird lag that happens. Or when I'm on defense, I feel like I can't do anything. I feel like the game is it's not responsive at all. And I swear to God, I think that 90% of the time when I'm on defense, I feel like I'm playing backbreaker. And what I mean by that is I feel like I'm playing with just one player on the field. And the only time I can ever get the play to come my way is when have any kind of influence is when it's in my, vicinity. But that's what I feel like you're just on autopilot, just playing a game. And the same thing goes with running the ball. Whenever I run the ball, all I'm going to do is sprint to one side or the other, or try to go through the middle and watch some weird animation where the guy's doing some crazy, non-gravity, weird Superman type play. And it just doesn't feel right. I don't feel like I'm playing a game that I'm controlling. And believe me, I have a lot of gripes with Madden, and that's by far the one issue I have when I'm playing it is I don't feel like I'm in any sense of the word controlling the players or the game or anything at all. I might as well be playing NFL head coach the way I feel.
Listen, when it came to Madden of almost any year, the primary control came from before the snap. All the audibles, all the hot routes, all those things, defensively and offensively. Everything, all your control is before the snap. You can't count on the computer to do anything. Obviously, you have way more control when you have the ball. But if you look at it, even the tournament players, there are two ways that they play defense. They either play on the line, which they normally get destroyed, or they lurk. They lurk with a linebacker, right, and trick the user into throwing the ball, and then a linebacker could play the whole freaking field, you know. So you really don't. You're right. You don't have any control. You don't have too much strategy that goes in Madden, and I'm so sick and tired of these guys. Whoever write these Madden books, they're talking about schemes and shit like that. It's not schemes. You know, you're glitching the game. It's not a scheme. You know what a scheme is in terms of football? On offense, you're scheming against a certain or a way that somebody plays defense. These tourney players, they play 1 or 2, 3 different defenses and audible the whole thing. You know, so they'll talk about schemes in Madden and all that type of stuff. But yeah, you do have very little control in Madden. That could be a good or a bad thing. If the game is well made, in my opinion, when it comes to a simulation, you have but only control of a person so much anyway. The point I'm trying to make is like, in a simulation, say, I don't know, talk about basketball or even Tom Brady. Tom Brady can't cut, juke, spin off of people, even though he's a great quarterback, right? You can't put Tom Brady in a wide receiver slot and him run at any kind of pace past any defender, right? But in Madden, if you can still place any player in any position, best believe you'll be able to put Tom Brady and he'll do the same exact animations. That's a type of how can I put it, restriction on the user, and restrictions can be good, but if your core game is horrible, restrictions are going to look horrible, you know. So restrictions could be bad, but they can also be horrible if your game is horrible.
Yeah. I want the game to be, like you said, if you're going to be able to, if you're going to take away some of the control, take it away based on the guy's attributes, you know, or the true physics of the game. I don't want a guy to do a 180, you know, sprinting, you know, full speed going north and all of a sudden be able to turn right around on a dime and go south. We don't want that.
Right.
I mean, that control gets to the point where you have that area of simulation, and then you start to go into the gray area of what you call arcade. And we don't want arcade for sure. But what we want is a game that you at least feel like you're doing something on the field. And I swear to God, with Madden, I don't feel that. And that's not even getting into the AI issues that we have out there. You know, we have some video to show tonight. And then we also have, like Gedden mentioned, we'll be putting in the description, I think it's already there, a link to the that top 10 or whatever it was that goes through the glitches in Madden. Not top 10, right? Top 10 glitches.
Yeah. Hilarious. If you guys watch that video, you will not be disappointed. And he does that at least once a week or so. And you know what? That brings up another point. So if you guys don't know, I don't want to pat myself on the back, but when it comes to critiquing Madden videos or whatever, I'm a kind of a vet. You know, I've been doing it for mad long. So, yeah, I know what it takes to do that, all that dedication. So obviously, you know, I stopped making that. That don't mean I'm not gonna go back to it. I will at one point. But yeah, you have people that used to do that and don't do that no more, or you had two individuals that used to do it and used to do it harshly, but now they're kind of way softer on EA. But anyway, it's funny how everything goes full circle. I remember people telling me, hey, stop making these videos about Madden, or I used to have people in my comments saying, oh, you either just suck at the game, blah, 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 right? So now you have, instead of me making videos, of course, Ryan is still, but instead of so many people making them on YouTube, which I know they do, you have people by the hundreds releasing videos on Twitter and even Instagram about how horrible Madden is, you know, with their glitches and all their shortcomings. So I'm just saying how, you know, I stopped, but it still goes on. You know, I'm not saying I was the forefront of anything. Apex stopped making videos, but the critique videos still have gone on all these years, and the critique videos still go on. You know, when people say how bad Madden is, and then you have your EA bots or your Maddenites defending Madden, obviously there's something wrong if other people, multiple people, are still making either critique videos, glitch videos, or real issue problem videos. You know, so I just thought I'd throw that in there.
But the problem I have with it, though, going back to our last topic, is the fact that people are not happy with Madden, but they continue to buy it.
Yes. Oh,
I don't
that's
understand
the
that.
that's the vicious cycle.
You
Yeah.
know, you can't do both. I mean, fine, you can buy. I mean, you could buy the game until you're blue in the face. That's fine, but how are you going to expect a better product to be made if you keep buying the game? How is that going to happen? It's not going to happen
Exactly.
until they start seeing the numbers go down. Then they're going to start to listen and say, okay, why are the numbers going down? Well, here's an audience here that's telling you why. You know, if they see all these videos, you know, critiquing Madden and showing glitches, obviously the guys bought the game. They keep buying the game. They bought the game to show the video, unless they rented it. But most people are buying this game, and it shows in the numbers. And it just baffles me that these people don't have the self-control to be able to stay away from the drop dead release date and buy that game the first second it comes out, because they only have to wait a day or so, and they can buy it used, like we mentioned, or they can even rent it. They can do the EA access or whatever you call it. EA access is what it's called, not EA Play. And they have opportunities to play it in a different way, but don't show the videos. If you're going to buy the game, and fine, and you have a limited time to show the videos. But if you're buying the game for a decade straight and you keep buying it and you're showing the videos, then you know what? Your word, the value of your word goes down, because you obviously keep buying it. And I mean, you do what you want with your money. It's fine, but we only have one single way, one method to show our approval of the game, and that's with our dollars, man. We can't say it enough. And I know that a lot of the guys in the chat, you know, you guys are probably in the same camp that we are. There's some good points that were made in here. I think it was Black Razor. Let me see. Call you out here. Yeah, Black Razor. Where was that? I saw a comment that I liked earlier when we were talking. I'll try to find it. Something that he said that was right on point. Oh yeah, the only hope that we have is that the NFL decides to do a fresh look, because I think the NFL could really turn this around if they finally said, you know what, we're not happy with your product. We know for a fact that there are coaches and there are players out there that are not satisfied with the Madden gameplay and how it represents the NFL. We know that people aren't happy with it, and the fact that the NFL wants, I know they want a high quality product, period. But the fact that, you know, EA keeps putting this out, we can also voice to the NFL the fact that, you know, we're not happy with the game. People out there aren't happy with the game. And I would think that the NFL would say, you know what, we're not being represented in the way that, in the quality and the manner that we would like. Obviously, there's a lot of money, a lot of politics, a lot of corruption behind all of it. But the fact of the matter is that if you have a community and you have a user, you know, community that is not happy with the product, the NFL, as the sponsor of the product, would have to say, wait a minute, we're getting negative noise from negative feedback from your consumers that they want a different product, a better product to represent our brand. You know, if I was the NFL, I'd be like, you know, listen, you're making us money, but you know what? The NFL makes us money. Your game is not making us the money. I mean, let's be honest around here. The brand is what's making, you know, the shield, and we can give it to somebody else and see what they do. But there has to be some turnaround. But the comment that you made, Black 59 Razor, about how the NFL decided to do a fresh look when they went from the Nike jerseys over from, you know, they had Reebok before and they switched over to Nike. You know, the NFL can switch the brand that represents them, you know, and we have that. Hopefully we have that possibility down the road, because God knows EA is not going to walk in and say, hey, 2K, come in and punch me in the mouth. There's no way. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do it. So the NFL has to be the ones to step up, or we get a game, which I'm 100% in favor of. Give me a game that can be customized. Give me a game. I don't need the NFL license. I don't care if it has the NFL license. Just give me the ability to recreate any league that I want and put some quality gameplay in the game. And if we have that, then we can create whatever we want. And us diehard guys will do that. You know, the masses, you know, if you make it easy for them to be able to download the rosters and not have to go through all the hexing and the you know, the vigorous, treacherous things that we crazy men do, you know, the masses won't do that. But if you make it easily accessible, they'll be able to enjoy the customization features as well. All right, so why don't we move on, because I know time's ticking, and we started late again today. I actually started on time, but if anybody watched the first 10 or 15 minutes, there wasn't really much going on. So if you came on late, you know, you didn't really miss much. I was just trying to get things together. And one thing I wanted to mention to you guys out there, if you didn't already know, we put this show on iTunes. We put it on, I think it's called Stitcher. And those are easier ways for you guys to listen to the show. If you can't catch the show live and you want to listen to it in your car or when you're working out or whatever it might be, it just gives you more opportunities and options to listen to our show. And it's out there for you guys. We'll put a link in the description. But I wanted to mention that plug because I wanted to mention it in the beginning of the show, but I didn't get it kicked off in the proper fashion. So I'll remind you guys there. We'll put a link in the description and check it out, because I think it's at least another option for you to check it out on your own time, because not everybody can see this thing live. So, all right. So the next topic is, what is the best way to enjoy Madden without even playing it? So, you know, if you're not playing the game and you want to enjoy it, what other ways out there? Because we think there are ways you can enjoy it, even though you're not playing it. So if you're not going to support it with your dollars and you don't want to go pay some guy on the street to go buy it and offer up or whatever it might be, then you can still enjoy football on a virtual level. And, you know, Gedden can talk to this topic and hit us off.
All right, yeah. I mean, we did speak about this already, but there's other points that we can make. You know, you have alternatives would be, you know, to play the indie games. Always support them, because without them, there's definitely no competition that's ever going to come. So you got to definitely support them. Also, Javo, he's created a hex editor. So you can edit your All-Pro Football if you still have that. You can watch the SFL. That's a great show. Kevin Irvine, he's a great commentator. You got Ryan Moody now more involved with that. He's showing All-Pro Football videos. You could definitely, again, watch some streamers. But I think what we were going to do was let's show that video. Shout out to Jay Devine out there. He sent us a video of his frustrations of Madden. So I asked, hey, do you mind if we have that video and throw it up on our show? He said, yeah, no problem. Now, to be honest, the video isn't horrible. It's not like Madden just decided to glitch out or have some crazy issue, but it's just this way of helping out or giving a user who don't really know about football, rewarding, there it is right there, rewarding the user who doesn't know about football. You should be rewarding the people who do know more about football, who understand what the statistics are for going for it on fourth down and whatever, you know. And yeah, so Hava, why don't you hit that play button? Let's look at this video again. This isn't a horrible Madden video. right? But this is an issue, and you could clearly see that it was a real problem with the AI, especially the safeties in this video.
And I'm not sure how choppy it's going to be, but hopefully you guys can see this.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm looking at it now on my laptop over here. It is a little choppy. Hopefully the rebroadcast could it'll be a little bit better. So what we saw right there, if you didn't see it, you saw the safeties. He had two back, and he threw the ball right for a safety that would be able to make a play on the ball. I don't know if it would have been an interception, a deflected pass, a hard hit on the wide receiver here, but this safety played very laid back on a tied game on 4th down. Now, I don't know if this guy was tired, the safety was tired, but stuff like this really pissed people off. And for me, it kills any enjoyment that I have, because I've always been saying this. The defense, they are always slave to the play art, instead of recognizing that wide receiver was really the only threat in that area and protecting the 4th down. You would expect that the safety would make some kind of aggressive play instead of sitting back, waiting for the wide receiver to basically catch the ball.
Yeah, you had I'll go back to me now. So you had, let's see. So I think, let me just stop presenting that. Okay, so you had the safety, and that was a great video to show, because listen, APF, there are things that APF does that aren't going to be perfect, and I get that. Okay, but it just happens too often in Madden. And this guy is trying to play this game. It's 4th down and 13. He's playing defense. He's got 4th and 13 for the other team, and there's only 48 seconds left in the game. And this team is trying to get in the field goal range. It's tied 17-17. Okay, and this guy just goes bananas and bonkers over this thing, because he's got the perfect position for the free safety. The free safety is literally almost sitting on the actual throwing cursor where the ball's going to land. And all that happens is the receiver does some crazy dive and gets right in front of him. And the free safety doesn't even move. He just stands there and waits for him to catch it. Now listen, all these games are scripted. No matter what you want to say or what you want to do, a lot of these games, the AI and the way things are built are done through what we call decision trees, okay, and behavior trees, okay, and they call them finite state machines, if you want to get down to the technical term. So no matter what engine you have, these what you call entities, actors, okay, they call them actors, and these actors all have different states, okay. So let's say, and what they do is they program the AI to be able to run through these states. So if you think about the defender, he might be in an idle state, or he might be just watching the ball, and he might go into a run state or a strafe state or some type of, buffer coverage type of state. And every state that he goes into is triggered by certain circumstances and logic that are built into the game. So all of this stuff that's happening with the AI is 100% scripted, but the scripting is done through highly logical, hopefully, maybe illogical in this case, but it's supposed to be a decision tree that's based off of circumstances. And what happens is when they do things like this, it's because they're nerfing down that decision to go and attack the ball, because maybe they might get too many interceptions, or they might have an issue with some weird looking play that doesn't really turn out to be the right animation. So when that happens in Madden on a critical moment, it's 100% due to the fact that the game is coded in a certain way that either A, like I said, they're trying to nerf down certain exploits or vulnerabilities in their game, or B, it's a bug in the game, right? Or C, they just don't have it. They just don't have it coded right. And this receiver's crazy and has some wild abilities and, got in his way. I don't know. But the bottom line is that this stuff isn't just magically happening. This is coded to happen this way. And for some rhyme or reason, they do it. And all it ends up doing is taking the enjoyment out of a game that you've been playing for a good hour, right? If you're playing this game, you're playing it for a good hour. And at the last minute, if it's a ranked game or some competition game, let alone if it's an eSports game, which we've seen videos of guys freaking out on there too. The last thing you want to see is something where you pick the right defense. The guy's going through his decisions, and all of a sudden he's right there with, a layup to be able to grab that ball or make a play on the ball, and he just steps back and lets the guy do a ridiculous catch. I mean, that to me is just –
oh, yeah.
It's just, it's just not right. And like I said, no game's going to be perfect, but this type of stuff happens way too often with Madden. And that's why we as a community, everybody online that feels this way, they need to have their voices heard. And that's why we're doing this show. That's a large main reason why we're doing this show, is to share with people in the community out there how we feel about this game. How people feel when you make a video, when you see a glitch, when you have any kind of frustration. We want a place for people to be able to express that or have a debate. Maybe there are things that we're not seeing or that we don't know. So that's why we're here, guys. So and we'll be bringing people on as we continue the show. Tonight we don't have too much time, but I don't know. There's people out there in the comments making stupid comments again. So you guys need to kind of quit that. I don't know who these people are coming in here and dropping comments, but we're going to see that. So if you keep doing it, we'll block you guys. So no worries. All right. So that topic, I didn't know we already went through it. So my bad on that one.
Yeah.
We'll get down to our last topic here. Well, actually, I think we've gone through all the topics. I don't think there's anything
No,
more.
we did. The only thing we didn't talk about, if you want to talk about it now real quick, it was a crazy day in NFL trades.
Yes, it was. I talked about Kelvin Benjamin getting traded to the Bills. I just saw it on the way over here. I think it just happened either today or yesterday. And that's a huge win for us. I mean, that guy's 6'5". He's a tall dude.
Yeah,
and we need receivers.
Target.
And we got rid of Marcel Darius on there too. But as far as the league, the one you wanted to talk about, I'll let you bring that one up because I know you wanted to share your thoughts on that.
Well, yeah. What's the guy's name? Jay. I can't say his last name.
Ajayi or something. Ajayi. Yeah.
Yeah, J-I-I-A, whatever his last name is. Sorry. He got traded from the Dolphins to the Eagles, and that was like the first big trade that people were talking about, and a lot of people were very shocked by it. And when I went to go kind of do my research, it seems like he wasn't having a great year this year with the Dolphins, but he's still a stud. He's a stud running back. So you put him in the Eagles offensive line, which is decent. And they're trying to say that Blunt is going to be the starter still. I really don't think Blunt is going to be the starter. I think that Jay is going to come in there and Blunt will kind of be used as he was used in New England. But the Eagles right now, they're 7-1. They're top of the NFC. They haven't been top of the NFC for a great long time. So, they're going to the playoffs for sure. That's obvious. But they might do some damage in the playoffs with this running back and with Wentz and how they've been playing. If they continue to play well, they might go pretty deep into the playoffs.
Yeah, Wentz is having a phenomenal year. And, one thing that happened last night, too, was Garoppolo went over to the 49ers. And I know he's dying to get an opportunity to play as a starter for a team. So there's been some trades. And I know that the Bills firsthand, I know that they're trying to make something happen this year, and we need our offense to step up. So I mentioned it earlier in the show, and our defense is on point, but our offense is, it needs improvements, and we need more targets. So we'll see what happens. But there's a lot going on with the NFL, and hopefully one day we can have a game that is actually worth playing. I can't wait for that day. Hopefully I'm still alive by the time they actually put out an NFL product that's worthwhile. But yeah, man.
That's funny. I was having a conversation with Lob Mob. Shouts out to the Lob Mob. Also, shout out to Resolve. He was here in the I saw him in the chat. I don't know if he's still with us, but shout out to Resolve. But yeah, I was having a conversation with Lob Mob, and I said exactly the same thing. Hopefully in my lifetime, either somebody is going to make another game or EA makes a good game in my lifetime. So it's funny that we're, saying the same thing on, different ways and whatever.
Well, you think about it, and it's been like 10 years. And if you go back to 2K5, it's been, I don't know what, 13 years or whatever it is that, that we've actually had a game that was at least at a certain level of quality. And it's a shame, but we'll get there. And that's why we're doing this, partly the reason why we're doing this show. Hopefully we can grow this, and you guys can, come out and express your opinions on this stuff. And we can actually have an unbiased, no agenda, no hidden agenda type podium that we can vocalize to these companies, and maybe the NFL can get wind, and maybe we can get a better game. So, I appreciate everybody joining this show tonight. We saw all of your comments in the chat, so that's working fine now. We're still getting through some technical difficulties. The show started a little bit shaky today, but we'll be on, next week, same time. It's Halloween tonight. We took care of business to get on this show and have you guys, on the show as well. So we appreciate everybody that came on, and we'll be doing it again next week for sure.
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming on. Javo, I apologize for coming in late. I had the plans that, as you can see, I'm not in my car. I'm here. So I had a little change of scenery, and that's what kind of kept me up. So my bad to our viewers, and my bad to Javo. I made Javo come back early so that we could get this show on the road straight up at 8 o'clock. But again, I'm the one at fault, right? So yeah, my bad. But thank you again. And yeah, every Tuesday, 8 o'clock or so, we will be here, and definitely check us out.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Listen to the iTunes podcast as well. Be sure to check us out if you guys missed the show or you want to catch up on it. And we'll see you next week. Thanks for everybody that's watching and supporting us.
Peace.
Want a better game. Peace.
Yes, sir.